Hey, what's good, y'all? What's good? Give me a one if you can hear me. This is the Bar for Black Authentic Truth, man. I'm out here in Austin, Texas, getting it in at the at the West Coast, Southwest Cookout, ISUBK, which I've been having a good time. Last night had a good time. The night before had a good time. I ate at a couple of places, seen a lot of crazy things, and the weather in Austin is different. It's different. Let's just say it's bipolar. You know what I'm saying? But for the brothers and sisters that sees this, let me know if you can hear me before I go in. Got a couple of topics I want to go in real quick. I don't know how this internet is going to be working. Let me see. Let me check it out real quick. Because I am in a hotel, so you know how that be. What we looking like? Testing, testing. Oh yeah, we good. We good. We good. Yeah, so I got a couple of videos. Usually I go later on, a little later, but because we got some things going on, we got the cookout today out here in Austin, Texas. I was not going to go live, but I decided to go live because I know a lot of the people that rock with me, they look forward to the Black Authentic Truth Live. So I was going to go over a couple of stories, and that's why this is just makeshift. This was not planned because I like to have all my ducks in a row, all my stories lined up. I like to talk about everything. I have everything I'm going to talk about ready to go, right? So I'm just going to get into it. I'm sure brothers and sisters that rock, they'll tap in later on. Later on, that's kind of how it works with the lives. With the lives, the majority of the viewers, basically, they tap in a little later and watch the live later on. But let me get some of these stories. Dang, I forgot to share. Let me share this to my other group. Just bear with me. Let me share this real quick. There we go. Let me make sure I shared it on Facebook. Moving kind of slow. Yeah. There we go. So one of the, main story I want to talk. Well, it's not really a big topic, but I seen where the R&B singer Life, he said he was told basically that he wasn't big enough to be on Tiny Desk, to perform on Tiny Desk. Y'all know Tiny Desk. I think it's in DC, where they have artists perform in that little room, little tiny desk with the bookshelves and everything behind the artist, and they usually have a live band. Well, Life was told by these people that he's not big enough, and I'm like, what? You don't know who Life is? You know what I'm saying? You don't know who Life. You don't know the song "Must Be Life." It's a couple songs he got that are hit records. You know what I'm saying? And that we know it in the Black community, but see, that's the problem with us looking at another people telling us what's hot in our community. So everybody know Life has a platform, and I believe they had Megan Thee Stallion on Tiny Desk performing when she didn't even have any hit records like that. She wasn't even big like that. You know what I'm saying? So once again, like I said, when you think about it, it goes back to us uh, reclaiming the narrative of what is dope in our music, what we like, as opposed to what people that just want to make money off of us choose to be hot. That's the reason why a lot of the music today that people don't like is pushed in the rotation on the radio stations, because you got people that are not Black that run these industries, that run the music industry, that run radio, and they decide what's hot depending on who's willing to pay the certain amount of money. But in the Black community, it's a whole nother type of flavor in our community where we choose or what we think. And so like that just goes back to us seeing and understanding that we the ones that make this place go. We the ones that have the flavor and the sauce. We those people, you know what I mean? And we just have not realized that we feel like we got to get validation from another group of people. And it goes like, I even go into sports, because y'all remember when it was the NBA lockout, right? When it was an NBA lockout, if you remember or not, NBA players, meaning it was an NBA lockout, there was no games going on. NBA players was going to high schools, going to college, basketball court gyms, and playing pickup games, and it went viral on the internet. Excuse me, it went viral. You had LeBron James, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, Kobe. You had the top players in the league in high school gyms, and they were packed to capacity. Just like that Rucker Park stuff. Like we are the people that bring the money and the dollars into these coliseums, into these arenas. And so if we just realize that black people could have their own leagues where they don't have to look for validation from someone else. You see that with some brothers. What brother is that on the Celtics? Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown he signed a contract with a shoe company that is not Nike, not Reebok. It's not the traditional way that most athletes go, but it's his, and he has full control of designing his own shoe, which is what I think all brothers should be doing. Like what was the Ball brothers? The Ball brothers had their own shoe. Kyrie Irving he signed with some Asian company. Why do we have to go through the same go to the same people like Nike and Reebok to get these same type of deals where we could take our destiny into our own hand? So it's across the board with this thing. What I'm talking about with Life, where they said he wasn't big enough to perform on Tiny Desk. Well, black people know he's big enough to perform anywhere. And the same is with athletes, artists, entertainers. We are big enough, meaning we are the entertainers of America. We the people that make this place pump, run, make money, give it flavor and all that. So that's just my take on that. When you have somebody else giving you the narrative of who you are and what's hot in your community, then they can just, take what they want out of your community, make money off of you. And at the end of your career, like we see with all of these artists, at the end of your career, you owe them money and you broke, when it should never even be like that. It's no way that black entertainers and people with all this talent should die broke. It's just no way. You know what I mean? You could say, oh, they should have learned the business, they should have did that. But even with that, it's no way when you own what you produce and what you make and what you create. You know what I mean? That's just my take on all of that. And, we should get tired of somebody else telling us what's hot in our community, what's good and what's not. When you look at everything we've done, they done took it, they done repackaged it, and they done sold it back to us. And they done sold it to the world. You see the thing in the Olympics where they took breakdancing and tried to turn it into an Olympic competition. And it was a travesty. It was an embarrassment to put those people up there pretending to breakdance and knowing how to do something that was born in the ghetto. You know what I mean? So that's my take on that. Right, Sister Barathanawa, we are the flavor everywhere we go. We the flavor everywhere we go. You know what I'm saying? I was just, because I'm out here in this hotel. It's called Kalahari, right? And I had on my jacket. It's a jacket that I actually made. And some of y'all have seen me wear the jacket before. It's it's black. It's a jean jacket, denim jacket, black with the BlackAuthentic True School Bus yellow with the red fringes. And I was in an elevator and it was like 3 white folks got in and they got in behind me. And the dude was like, "That's a effing awesome jacket, man. That is cool. That is like, where did you get it?" Like, "I made it." "You made that?" "Yeah." You'd be surprised what you can do when you look at a couple of YouTube videos and you read a couple of forums and you get a sewing machine. You'll be surprised what you can do, right? And I thought about it, like, I'm looking around and I'm like, they just don't have that type of flavor we got. You know what I mean? They don't have the flavor, but they are impressed by the flavor that we have. And if they could, they would get the jacket. If they could buy it somewhere, they would start wearing it. You know what I mean? Like everything, like from brothers wearing a hat to the back, from even the shoe game. Black people made something that is, Nikes didn't even used to be popular until black people made them popular. Nikes wasn't even popular. But now you see everybody, they have a whole shoe game, meaning they got people that collect shoes. They collect shoes, and it's because black people then took something that's just something you wear on your feet to make it look appealing. And it's just because it's the flavor that we walk around with. It's the royalty that we have that's deep inside of us. You know what I mean? And it's no disrespect to nobody else, but you cannot see, you don't find nobody in the world other than black folks in America where you look at their style and you want to emulate that. I personally have never looked at nobody and said, "I like the way he's rocking that." I want to emulate that at one point in time. Oh, I see that. That's dope right there. It's only been black people that I see do stuff like that I'm like, that's dope. I want to get something like that. Hey, bro, where did you get that from? Hey, sis, where did you get that from? Oh, sis, you smell good. Where did you get that from? It's only my people. You know what I mean? So shout out to black people. Shout out to you. You know what I'm saying? But I got a couple of videos I'm gonna go into. A couple of videos. How y'all? That's what I forgot. Usually I open up with that. How is y'all Sunday going right now? How brothers and sisters doing right now? It's like the weather is cloudy out here, but it's warm and humid, and it's been raining off and on a little bit. And then you get a little breeze every now and then. Like the sister said last night that this weather out here, Texas weather, is bipolar. So you have to, be prepared. 1 minute it can be one way, the next minute it can be the other way. And I attest to that because when I was in Houston, it was like that. It was like one day it was sunny, the next day it was windy, the next day it was rainy. And I was like, this is crazy. I know California has some crazy weather too, but this right here really is that. In Texas, it really is that type of weather. Y'all let me know if I'm talking too damn fast, but let's get into it. All right. So, like I said, I'm out here in Austin, and I'll save that for the end. I'll talk about Austin. I'm out here in Austin, and I was just looking at the demographics, and I was looking at the people and who I see and who I don't see, the majority of what I see, and so I'm gonna go into that. I read up a little bit of history about Austin. I wanted to go to the Natural History Museum, but I won't be able to make it. Leave tomorrow, so I won't be able to make it to that. So yeah, if I'm going somewhere, I would like to go to somewhere educational and like just learn some stuff, or even just see some of the history that they got in their museums. But like I said, I'll get another chance to do that. But I'm going to get this video, pull a video up. Let me see where I'm gonna go first. Got about maybe four videos I'm gonna go into. So let me see. Yeah, I'll start with this guy. Now this guy, I don't know his name. If anybody know who this Edomite, this white man is, let me know, because he's always going in. He's making always solid points. He's always going in on white supremacy. Alternative lifestyles, different things that this society promotes. So I know he's not really liked by his people, because he's always coming with these think pieces. And I've heard his name before, but I can't remember his name. And on this video, it's somebody reposting the video. So of course his name is not on it. So
you go all around the world and smash.
Now, he's talking about white supremacy, right? Let me start it from the top.
I mean, imagine you go all around the world and smash up everything that other civilizations built, loot what they built, pillage, steal, even steal their ideas and their concepts and their philosophies. And then you sit on top of this mountain of stolen goods and declare yourself to be rich because of your own merit. And imagine telling this lie to your children, to your own children, to your grandchildren, generation after generation. How do you think that's going to go? You didn't invest in creating actual merit. You cheated, you lied, you stole, you brutalized. And then you tell your own people that everyone else in the world has nothing and you have everything because of how much better you are than everyone else. How long is that lie sustainable? I mean, these are people who actually have civilizations, who actually created and built and accomplished and didn't just pillage and plunder. And there's still those people today, even though you have oppressed them, there's still those same people. And you're still the way you are. I mean, a good example actually is African Americans. I don't know if you can think of a people who were more held back, more deprived, more sabotaged than African Americans. You took everything away from them and took them away from everything. They started in your country at less than zero, literally regarded and treated as subhuman. not allowed to learn to read or write or anything for hundreds of years. But
So he said a lot up in there. But the main thing he said is, as a people, how are you going to act like you're greater than everyone when you done pillaged and you done stole everything that you have? There is nothing that you see in America that is not built off of either black or brown people. There's nothing in America that you think is great or you think is like great technology or an advancement that did not come in some shape or form from the workings of black or brown people. When I did my research, many times what I saw is that in history, brothers right out of slavery were inventing amazing things. Black people right out of slavery. And many times they didn't have the funds or the money. And if they were still enslaved, the slave owner would take that invention. He would take that patent to where that patent and that money went into his family. It didn't go down generations into black families. You find many times where black people own a lot of land. I mean, a lot of land. And that land was stolen. That land was taken. It was swindled from black people a lot of times through paperwork. And so you think about all of these things that even with the disadvantages, we were still able to be a resilient people and produce and make things and own stuff. You had black people that had businesses and were millionaires. Now, everybody during slavery, black person here was not enslaved. You might have had a scattered few black people that actually had businesses successful, and they didn't have to worry about being, their business being taken and them being lynched or nothing like that. And they were able to live out their lives while the vast majority of black people were in chains. You had black people 10, 15 years out of slavery that built whole towns, built whole cities. Weeksville is one of them in New York. Okay. You got Rosewood. You can go, it's a plethora of cities that black people built. And the most famous being Black Wall Street, that when they got out of slavery, it's impressive of what the things we were able to do. Straight impressive what we were able to accomplish. And it has never been done again, but those places were burnt down. So today, when I hear people say that black people have not accomplished anything, that we make excuses, that we play the victim, and I look and I say, well, what about history? What about when we had cities and your people didn't? What about when we had towns and your people didn't, and they got angry and burnt them down? What about that? Are we forgetting all of that history? Or that history is we're just going from slavery and then we're hopping to modern time to the 21st century? Is that what we're doing? Because if my memory serves me correct, we did pull ourselves up by our bootstraps. We did build from the ground up. We were self-sufficient and didn't ask for anything because nobody wanted us to ask anyway. But we did it though. And then when we did it, you got jealous and got upset and made excuses allegedly for black people doing this and that to come and pillage and burn it down. It's so many massacres in the history of America you would not even believe. That's why they even want to talk about critical race theory. They don't want to talk about it in the schools because it's unfathomable, right? I hope I'm saying the word right. That a place that is supposed to be so the country that everybody wants to come to, the leader of the free world, America, the brave, that this country has some of the most atrocious, terroristic atrocities committed against black and brown people that you have ever seen. So it's understandable why they don't want their children to learn about what they did to black and brown people. It's totally understandable, because you're presenting this image that you're all benevolent and lily white, and you do good business, you have good business practices, and you're fair and you're square, where really you're conniving, you're thieving, you're undermining, you're all of the other things, you know. So when you have this going on, how could you then say that we are inherently better than black and brown people when you've done all of this? And black and brown people, you are some of the most forgiving, lovable people, let it go, let bygones be bygone people on the planet Earth. Because the things that have happened to us, if they had happened to anybody else, they would not let it go. They are not going to let it go ever. They did not let 9/11 go. They went over there and got revenge. I don't know if you noticed that. Maybe some of y'all just new to the channel. Maybe you're new to the world. Maybe you just came to America. Some of you black folk, I don't know. Maybe you was born yesterday, but I know what I saw when 9/11 happened. They went over there and they exacted revenge. They did not let that go. You know what I'm saying? But the point is I'm making is that no other people would be as forgiving as Negroes are, And what he's saying is he brought out a good point about black people, how we are so resilient. Even the fact that we went through all of those things, but we're still able to overlook it. I brought out a good point. I believe it was in class. If my memory serves me correct, I brought out a good point is that black people laugh at a lot of stuff because we had to laugh in slavery. I mean, we had to laugh. We had to, keep going, keep pushing. Even though we saw terrorism, we saw murder, we saw rape during those times, we still had to live. So you still found a way to smile and laugh even through those difficult times. And so if you ever wondered why black people will laugh or make memes about stuff that it's not really funny. It shouldn't be funny. But with black people, we find a way to make something funny. It's because in our history, during those times, we had to still be able to laugh and still live and still make light of our reality, of our condition. So it's almost like a thing that's built into us, right? So yeah, what he's saying is right. When it comes to manifest destiny and all those things that, God wanted this to happen. And no, it's just that these people are they're like a virus on the earth. They're a cancer of the earth. And that's what they did. They swept across, this hemisphere, this side of the planet, and just pillaged and destroyed and took everything from all the people who had civilization, and then acted as though these people never had civilization, like they called the Native American Indian savages, as though they didn't have laws and rules to govern themselves, when they did. They had language, laws, rules, oral traditions, spirituality, all of that. And that's just the reality of when your oppressor writes the history. He can literally wipe you out with the swipe of a pen. So yeah, let me get to this next story. All right. Get the next video. And let me just say too, because I think that was last night. Let me get this video real quick. Let me remove this. Excuse me. It was last night that I seen, it was on television, I think. Cardi B was at a rally for Kamala Harris. And I think the day before, I seen a video, well, it was a post where it was Sexy Red bending down with her tail in the air, saying something to the effect of, I'm voting for Kamala. Don't tell us what to do with our bodies, right? And then remember, we had Megan Thee Stallion twerk at the rally. Is that all that black, like, let's just say that we were all people that believed in voting, right? And voting is going to fix the problems in the black community. Let's just say that. Now, is that the only thing we have to offer for the as an influencer to help the presidential candidate? Is 304s who are women that talk about, sleeping with different men, robbing them, just having all type of intercourse and sex with different people, twerking, having your tail tilted up in the sky. Is that it? Because you would have thought, like, for something of that level or that caliber, you get somebody like Angela Bassett or something. You would think they'd get somebody with a little more class, with a lot more class and morals. You would think they would use a woman like that. And then I start to think, how many women do we even have in the limelight that is on that caliber? You know what I'm saying? Has honor and integrity. Like, even if you look at it from the men's side of the men's side, as far as rapping and stuff, like, who can you really find? Or you have to look at actors, right? So who would it be? Like a Denzel Washington? You can't do Will Smith no more, but Denzel Washington at the very least. Somebody that has never had no dirt, no smut on their name. Somebody that seems to stand for, honor, integrity, and morals. But this is what they use. This is what they think of black people. They say, well, we get the 304s that's represented in the black community because that's all they are anyway. That's all black women want to be anyway. Whether they got a career or don't, all they want to do is be in the club, tooting their tails up in the air, being half naked. And I'm gonna get to that too. Man, it was something, man, this weekend. What was that? That was Friday. It was Friday. I was downtown Austin. And of course, everybody was out, man. All the people in their costumes was out on the streets. Man, I seen so many sisters that was naked. I mean, it was sisters out there in lingerie, stuff that you consider just lingerie, and you could just see through it, just butt naked. It was a shame to see all of that, But getting back to that Kamala thing, that's what they want. That's what they're pushing. That's what they think of black women. That's what they think of black people. That's what we want to see. We want to see the main sisters that rap, that talk about nothing but sexual content, telling us who to vote for. Now, I'm saying in a perfect world, if everybody was for voting, y'all know I ain't for voting. We don't stand for that. But just saying, a perfect world, to the people who are voting, who do believe Democrat, Republican, whatever you believe, but you believe your vote counts and all of that. This is who they shoving down your throat. It's the equivalent of them taking like known drug dealers and known, people that's been known to unalive people in the black community, kingpins and all that, and saying, vote for Trump. I'm voting for Trump because he's a real nigga. He's a real one. And so that just goes back to how we are so gullible in the black community. We're so weak and we're so gullible. Super weak. We don't have any black leaders that even have any ambitions to have a separate black, like a separate black card, a party, so to speak. We only want to shuck and jive and ask for crumbs from the table of these people. That's all we care about. That's all black leaders care about. And so this is what you get. You get Kamala Harris, who is not a black woman at all, in no shape or form. Just because she's a person of color does not mean she's black. You know what I'm saying? You got her in that campaign. Those people that work for her said, let's get Sexy Red, let's get Cardi B, let's get Megan Thee Stallion. They're going to love us. And that's what's supposed to represent our culture. That's supposed to represent us. That's crazy, y'all. That is nasty work. Nasty work for the people that believe in voting. You should think about that. So let me get to this video real quick. Right?
Who can come at when? What kind of person can come? You can come later on tonight around 1:30. That's the time my brothers will be asleep, but I'm gonna turn off the cameras when you come to go.
Give me that phone. Give me that phone.
What happened?
Give me this phone.
Okay, give me that freaking phone.
What happened?
Read the text.
Read this.
What happened?
Read the text. So she probably just ain't.
You can come later
The
on.
light, I can't see. The light.
You can come later on tonight around 1:30. That's the time my brothers will be asleep, but I'm gonna turn off the cameras when you come and go out. What the hell are you going out?
Michaela, stop playing.
So who did you try to text that to?
Stop playing.
To the wrong person.
Michaela, I
finna
know
get
you
somebody
want
to drop
Give me the
me.
phone.
Sneaking out
Let me get the phone.
Man, if you don't yell that phone, girl, put you on this wall.
Let me get the phone. Let me get it. Let me get it.
Okay, what you serious, bro?
Who you meant to send the text to?
Mom, you gonna give her permission to be?
You don't speak English?
No.
Who you meant to send the text to? Okay, stop.
Now, I don't know if y'all caught what's going on right there, but the sister accidentally sent a text to her brothers, and in the text, their sister was telling, she's thinking she texting her boyfriend, telling him he can come over later on when the brothers is gonna be asleep, and she gonna turn the cameras off. The brothers bust in the room like, who was you talking to? Who did you mean to send this text to? Don't play with me. And what I like about this is that their brothers is in place of a father right now. Also, what I like about that is that the mother, let me play it again. I'm gonna hold that point. The mother.
Who can come at when? Michaela, brush my camera.
Okay, leave playing.
You can come later on tonight around 1:30. That's the time my brothers will be asleep, but I'm gonna turn off the cameras when you come to go.
Give me that phone. Give me that phone.
What happened?
Give me this phone.
Okay, give me that freaking phone.
What happened?
Read the text.
Read this.
What happened?
Read the text. So she probably just.
You can come later
The
on.
light, I can't see. The light too.
You can come later on tonight around 1:30. That's the time my brothers will be asleep, but I'm gonna turn off the cameras when you come and go out. What the hell are you going out?
Michaela, stop playing.
So who did you try to text that to?
Stop playing.
To the wrong person.
Michaela, I
finna
know
get
you
somebody
want
to drop
Give me the
me.
phone.
Sneaking out.
Let me get the phone.
Man, if you don't yell that phone, girl, put you on this wall.
Let me get the phone. Let me get it. Let me get it.
Okay, what you serious, bro?
Who you meant to send the text to?
Mom, you gonna give her permission to be?
You don't speak English?
No.
Who you meant to send the text to? Okay, stop.
So if you're asking why is this even recorded, it's because they got they have a home where they have cameras in the room and out looking at everything, right? Which I think is a good idea. But shout out to the mom too, because the mom, she allowed for the brothers to get on the sister's head. Instead of protecting the sister and saying leave her alone, she allowed for those two brothers to get on their sister's head. Like, what do you would you think you finna sneak a nigga up into the house? Who were you texting? You know what I'm saying? And it just shows you that these brothers are playing the role of a father, which is admirable. You know what I mean? That's something that should be commended. We need brothers like that. But guess what? What else it shows you? That fathers are needed in the house. Fathers are needed in the house. Instead of trying to put a black woman in the White House, a black man in the White House, it should be a black man in every black house. You know what I'm saying? And so that right there just shows you that male authority is needed. Now, I don't know, maybe the father is not at home. Maybe he's just not there. Maybe he's at work. I don't know. But from right there, even if that was a single mother, what you can see is that those brothers is on her head and they are needed. And if think about this, think about right now, all of those little young sisters that you've seen, they're 15, 16 years old, just like her, and their mother is putting online, have you seen my daughter? Somebody please help me. This is what they're doing. They're meeting boys and men on the internet, going out to meet them and never being seen again. That it is what it is. So although we're concerned for the sisters that's missing, we also have to look at the things that we are doing to facilitate that happening to our sisters, to these young girls. Right here is a prime example. She's trying to sneak a brother in there. If she can sneak a brother into the house, that means that she can leave the house also. She can do the same thing in the middle of the night after 1:30. Like she said, when her brothers are sleeping, she'll turn the cameras off. But the point of me bringing this video out is, number one, is that male authority is needed. Male authority is needed. Number two, fathers are needed in the home. There has to be some type of, oversight, some leadership, so that there is barriers set that you cannot cross. But shout out to those two brothers that didn't just let that slide, that came in, that busted in that room and said, no, who are you supposed to be sending this to? Who are you supposed to be leaving with? Who's supposed to be sneaking up in here? Shout out to those brothers, because they really love their sister. They really love their sister, and they'll be damn good fathers too over their daughters, right? So let me drop that. Let me get this next video, and then we'll wrap it up with Austin. Okay. Now let me just preface this one. I'm gonna preface this one. This is General Anya Shalimar in my school. I've learned a lot from him. He's taught me many things, supported me, gave me great advice on Black Authentic Truth and what how I even got here to this day, right? And so I'm gonna go into what he's saying, and I'm gonna give some commentary.
Hey, what's going on, brothers, sisters? I have a question that I'd like to ask everyone for some help with today. And it's a very serious question, because I've noticed this all over the country. And it's not like I just recently noticed this. I've been noticing this. But no one else is asking this question, and no one seems to have the answer. But I know that there are other people out here that are asking the same question, and they also have an answer. It's some people that have an answer. So my question today is, why is it that blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, why are we forced to go and spend our money within our own communities to the Chinese store that's set up on the corner, to the Arab store that's set up on the corner, or to the East Indian store that's set up on the corner in our communities? That question needs to be answered. Because when I go all over this country, and I travel the United States extensively, regardless of where I go, whether it's California, whether it's Texas, whether it be Georgia, Washington, D.C., Florida, Ohio, it just really doesn't matter. Every state that I visit, whenever I go into a black community, one of the first things that I notice is that all of the businesses that are actually earning and making money, none of those businesses belong to blacks, Hispanics, or Native Americans. All of those businesses belong to Chinese people, Arabs, or East Indians. And so my question is, why are they being allowed to come into our communities and set up stores and prosper off of our blood, sweat, and tears? And why can't we do the same? Because when I go into a white community, an East Indian community, a Chinese community, I don't see our stores on the corners in their neighborhoods. What I see is that they own stores in their own neighborhoods, and they own the stores in our neighborhoods. So my question to you is, how can we ever change our narrative as people as it pertains to us actually building wealth, us actually supporting our family, us actually being able to live without depending on someone else, if we can't even own the stores that are being built or being pushed in our communities? If we don't own them, that means every time we go to one of these stores and we spend money, that money is leaving our community immediately. Because don't you think for 1 second that if you go to a store and you spend your money in a Chinese store, that man is actually going to leave that store and now go and purchase something in your community? No, he's going back to his community and he's spending that money. The same thing with the Arabs, the same thing with the East Indians. But what makes it sickening is even if they wanted to spend money within our communities, we don't own any stores. We don't own any dry cleaners. We don't own any auto mechanic shops. So even if they did want to say, you know what, it's unfair that we're treating these people like this, let's at least spend a few dollars back with them. They couldn't do it because we don't own anything. And I personally believe that it's being done by design. So again, if you could help me with this answer, it would be greatly appreciated. And if you could answer this question and help me answer it for me, guess what? You'll be helping answer that same exact question for yourself. With that, I'm going to say shalom. And if you have the answer, please chime in and help me out and help other brothers and sisters out.
So the general said a lot in there. He spoke the truth. He said something that most of us, the majority of Black people that are conscious, they know this. You know this. You know, everywhere you go in your community, those stores are owned by people that don't look like you. And it's funny because he said something about the money leaving our community. The money that they're not going to spend that money in our community, but even if they could, we don't have any stores that they could do that for. And he believed that it was by design. I definitely believe that it is by design. And you see these different groups be able to come to America and prosper very quickly, as if, and I know from the outside, it looks like Black people are not trying, like Black people don't desire to have stores. I got a story for you too when it comes to that. Black people don't desire to have businesses. They don't desire to have nail shops. They don't desire to have, a corner market store. When Black people have tried to do these things, and it just, the doors just don't open up easy enough as they do for people that come to America, as far as, East Indians, Arabs, and Asian people. Now, before I forget, I'm gonna go into this story. There was a sister. She still has the store today. Now, this sister that this is when I was in the world. I was going to church. met her at church, right? But she had her own beauty supply store, and she had her beauty. They got to get their products from the Asians. The Asians have a monopoly as far as the products, how you get them wholesale. There's certain products that the Asians will not even sell to the sister. They only sell to the Asians. So she have to go through all these different channels and probably pay more, because when you're paying wholesale, you're paying less per item because you're getting it in bulk. But she probably has to pay more because she has to go around them and figure out a way to still get it. But there's products, hair care products, that the Asians will not sell the sister. She's told me out of her own mouth, they would not sell her certain products. They would only sell it to her people. And they have a monopoly on the industry. So it's like, how is it that these people have a monopoly on an industry of hair care products that are for Black people? That is crazy, right? You would think that we would be in control of the products that we use, but we're not. I'm sure there's other people that use some of these products that Black people use when they want to have that, ethnic look, and, but just the idea is that they have a monopoly. And getting back to what he was saying is like, how can we change that? How can we rectify the fact that we don't have businesses like that? Well, I would say that we would have to go back to what we were when we had those things, which was we were segregated. Now, I know a lot of black folks are scared of that. You're scared of that because I've had conversations with Black people, and they say this. They say, well, if we were to segregate, how will we get our water? How will we get our electricity? How will we get this? And segregation ain't necessarily what people think. I'm not talking about like back in the days segregation. I'm saying like you could be segregated in the way you move, how you spend your money, even today, right? If everybody was on the same page, you see it done right now. So what he brought out is the East Indians, the Arabs, the Chinese. They make their money in America. They do business with everybody. When they're done doing that business, that money they use to patronize the businesses of their people. Or a lot of times they send money back home to their families. Black people, we don't think of that type of infrastructure. Like there's brothers and sisters that sell clothes, but you won't buy clothes from them, but you'll buy clothes from Louis Vuitton, and you'll buy clothes from Nike. You'll spend more, big amounts of money with these other companies, but you'll complain about Black people having high prices. You'll complain, you know what I'm saying? Like I've seen some brothers and sisters that have companies, just like little shops on Facebook and stuff, where they have some nice quality stuff. And the price might be like a premium price. But you don't think about that when you get in that designer. You don't think about that when you're buying that little t-shirt. What's the one y'all be wearing? Balenciaga, a t-shirt for $700. You don't think about that then. You think about being seen and having that label of a European on you to flex on other Black people. But when you see Black people trying to make it and they're making a quality product, you don't patronize them. A quality hair product, a store, Black people might have to have their prices a little higher because it's a lot harder for Black people to get into the beauty supply industry or any industry. It's harder. It's just harder because we don't have the connections, because we're not getting our products from other Black people. We're getting it from other nations. And so when you look at Black Wall Street, another point I wanted to bring out about this is he was saying that how the dollar doesn't circulate in our community. It doesn't, because they leave and they spend it somewhere else. In Black Wall Street, everybody was buying from each other, meaning you got a market where you sell fruits and vegetables. I got a market where I sell different rugs and carpets. The sister got hair care products. This brother right here, he sell different shoes. And we're all buying from one another. So the money is just, it's coming in and it's just circulating and everybody is prospering. And that's how it's supposed to work. But see, that dynamic, as far as us having that, would only work if we learn to actually separate and patronize each other, everybody's business, Black people's business, and understand that's what we're doing. This is what we're doing first. If we have to go outside to do it, it's only because, there's a shortage. Other than that, I'm getting everything I need from my brothers and from my sisters. And we all eating, and we all have jobs, and we all have, I shouldn't say jobs, but we're not worried. No one is worried about anything as far as lacking anything at all. There's another point I wanted to bring out about it, but I might be forgetting. But what the sister said, she said, and we have to come together on operating businesses and stop just wanting to be individuals, but put our resources together and work together like they do. Right. You're going to have to put your pride down if you want to really work with other Black people. All Black people as individuals, you got to put your pride down if you really want to succeed working with people. The problem is that when you get with us, when we get together, everybody wants to be a chief and nobody wants to be an Indian, And the thing about this whole thing that the general was talking about is that, integration actually did this to us. It made us stop we stopped going to our businesses and we started patronizing all of the white establishments. So the Black businesses died, and that was through integration. And peep this though, when we were first trying to go into those places, they did not want to sell to us. They didn't want to sell us food. They didn't want to sell us clothes. They didn't want to sell to us. And then they got smart and they said, you know what? Even though we don't want to sell to these people, money is still green. Why would I cut myself off from making more money? Yeah, I don't like them, but this is business. The only color that people understand in business is green. That's where we get it mixed up at. Like we believe that we have to love everybody in order to do business with them. That's why you got Black men going to the liquor store, and an Arab might own the liquor store. And hey man, what's up, Habibi? And let me give me 3 of those banana blunts, and and hanging out and he'll allow you to sell drugs in front of that store. But he won't give you a job in that store. He'll be cool with you, smile with you. Yeah, because he's doing business. Yeah, you niggas is out here, but I'm making money. I'm making money where I don't have to worry about the one time rolling up, the jump out boys coming and jumping out on me. My money is 100% secured. Because first of all, y'all own drugs. You're going to keep buying these blunts. You're going to keep buying these blunts and cigarettes. You locked in and I'm locked in. This is a guaranteed profit. My family is going to be straight. Long as I work here for the next 5 years, stack my bread, and the next family member can come up in here and take my place. They don't care. They getting their money. They don't have to like you. They can just play around with you and make jokes about you. There's a video on YouTube I can't stand. It's one of these people, and he's behind the glass. He got the camera. Some of y'all probably seen it where he just messes with the black people that come in there, and the black people are so destroyed. You can tell it's a real ghetto. It's definitely a ghetto, and they so destroyed without any. And I'm not down on my people, but then you see people don't have no integrity, no dignity, stripped of their dignity. So they come in there to buy whatever they buy. He making jokes, saying things like, "Hey, baby," to grown men. The men getting upset that he's behind the glass. He got the camera on him, and he done got a big YouTube following off of this. Almost 1 million. I was just seeing a video last night. Almost 1 million followers. Just taking advantage of black people, destroy people. And many people will say, well, it's their fault. They shouldn't be buying blunts, and they should be, why they coming to that liquor store? But this is what we have to go to. This is the choice we have in our communities. Well, people can mock us and make fun of us. You know what I'm saying? And so I don't want to get off too much off the point, but we at one time had all of the things that we are saying we need now. And so when we integrated, we started to patronize all the other businesses. And so our businesses died. And it's so ironic that now we have to say the term support black businesses. So let me just, I'm going to drop this and let's get this Austin, because I'm out here in Austin, right? So talk a little bit about Austin, Texas. Maybe I can, let me see. I'm gonna share the screen. Oh, there's one more video I want to do. One more video. I'm gonna have to share the screen on this one though, because they did not want me to download this video to put it up. So I'm gonna have to share my screen. Change it right here. Right there. Instagram. How do I blow this up? How do I blow it up? I'm trying to make it bigger. Okay, did I save it? It is saved. Okay, let me try one more time. Y'all just bear with me. see. Just bear with me, y'all. Where is that video? Now, this video is about, let me see. It's about a sister leaving her husband. Where is it at? Where's it at? Where's it at? I just had the video. Oh, okay. All right. I got it right here. Let me just play it. It should have been bigger. Share the screen. I'll start it over. Can I start it over? Oh, you can't even start an Instagram video over, huh? Let me just do this then. Maybe I'll do it this way.
We were together for 15 years. We were married for 7. It was a beautiful thing, and we still had, like, the normal ups and downs. But I will say, we didn't have a relationship where we argued all the time. Yeah. We didn't have a relationship where we were dealing with infidelity or stuff like that, during those times. We didn't have that type of relationship. So, because we were friends first, so it was always like, that's my homie. It was just something in me as a woman. I cannot explain it, to where it was like I was battling myself. You feel like I'm trying to do the right thing, but it's something that's pulling me away from doing this. But why would it pull me away from my husband? I'm battling in the midst of that with religion, like with the people telling me at church and what I'm getting spiritual advice from. And then I'm battling with myself, like, why am I feeling this way? I'm talking about I'm going to therapy for myself to figure out, why am I feeling this way towards my husband? And the way I was feeling, it wasn't like I felt resentment towards him. It was almost like I was withholding a piece of me that I couldn't give him. I'm sitting on the couch and we had a small issue, and that small issue was that pattern. Now, you done went to therapy for this. We done had talks for this. I done talked to you. What did you get from this after I said it? To make sure you understand, because I love to communicate. And I'm sitting on the couch, y'all, and I kid you not, God told me, that is not your husband. Wow.
So she said her and her husband was together for 15 years, and she struggled with thoughts in her head and what people were telling her at the church. Because, people at the church, they'll tell you to leave a relationship with the quickness if it doesn't seem right or whatever. And the thing is that she, something is in my eye, but eyelash or something. She said that she was struggling, man. She was struggling, and eventually she said that God told her to leave her husband. Let me tell you something. That is not even in the Bible. Once you get married with somebody, it's either the only way you can not be with someone is either death or adultery, some type of unlawful fornication. God didn't tell that sister nothing. That's not even in, like, the thing about it is, like, she talked about struggling, and what you got to understand, women, they have all of these emotions and these feelings that they go through within themselves, and she said she got therapy and all of those things, but none of those things actually fixed it. Maybe it was a chemical imbalance or something, but it definitely wasn't the Lord telling her to leave her husband. People have ups and downs all the time. That's not a reason to actually break a union. It is not. And the thing is that a woman could feel one way. A woman will break up with you based on how she feels. you know, and feelings come and go, ups and down, or up and down. But a woman will do that, you know, and it's not, you know, it's not an attack on our sisters. It's just the reality of the situation. Like a woman will leave you and one day feel like it's not working and move to another state and you know, and say, well, I gotta go chase this thing that I'm feeling. I gotta go fulfill myself. I gotta go do things that I haven't done before. Any little thought that can come in her head and she'll act on it. And in my opinion, she just didn't get the right kind of counsel. She said she was conflicted after, you know, thinking about the thoughts she was having and talking to the people at the church. And that's who really destroyed her marriage of 15 years. She opens up and says it was no problems, no issues in her marriage, none at all. So at the end of it, she puts it on the Most High, as though the Most High whispered in her ear and said, hey, that's not your husband. Nah, that didn't happen. That didn't happen. There's a lot of things that were at play, but that wasn't. And many times women just want to go and do their thing. Social media doesn't help. Social media doesn't help because it puts this thing in a woman's head that her life is unfulfilled, or like she has everything that a lot of women would want, like a perfect relationship, nothing wrong, going to quote unquote, being spiritual, or, you know, going to church or whatever, quote unquote, but nothing was wrong. But then everything was wrong. So I don't know, maybe I'm tripping. Y'all, what is y'all thoughts on this? Let me see. Black Rain 303, Shalom family. Did you come? No, I'm still in Austin, Texas. Y'all be back tomorrow. I got some things that I'm gonna be doing later on today. I went going early so that I can get it in, because I wasn't going to go live today, but I will, you know, I know brothers and sisters be looking forward to the live, so I decided to go live from the hotel room. The brother said when women get bored, they just make up all kind of nonsense. There's a lot of truth to that. You know what I'm saying? A woman, from a biblical standpoint, a woman is, you know, she's a weaker vessel. So you gotta keep that in mind, and you gotta realize that there's a lot of forces out in this world that are pulling at women, that are targeting women. Right now, 304ism is the number one target on women right now. With that Cardi B-ism, that that Megan Thee Stallionism, and that Sexy Redism, that is targeting Black women right now. Like that, just, you know, be free, be liberated, have sex with who you want to have sex with, you know, hot girl summer. That whole thing is attacking women, and women be feeling bored and unfulfilled in a marriage that a lot of people would love to have, you know, would love to have that stability instead of being unstable in this world and, you know, going from man to man and place to place. And that's just the reality of it. You know what I'm saying? So what Sister Barata now said, old saying, can't make a whore into a housewife. He said her true self just arose. Yeah, her true self came out. She did what she wanted to do. She actually did what she'd been wanting to do, you know. And that's another thing. Y'all good. That's another thing. Don't right. The church ain't qualified, Black Dazzle. They not. Let me tell you something. This is a story I'll tell y'all too that happened to me. And it was effed up, right? Because at this point was one of my lowest points, right? I was locked up in prison. I had a girlfriend at the time, right? And we was tight, you know what I'm saying? And she was writing me letters. And anybody that's ever been locked up, you know, when it comes to when you locked up, the most important thing that can boost your spirits is a letter from the outside, because you know that somebody care about you, somebody thinking about you, right? And I would look forward to these letters because they would boost my spirit. And so she stopped mailing me letters, and I'm like, what happened? Like, I didn't know nothing because, you know, you're not using a phone like that or nothing. And so I stopped seeing letters for a while, and then I'm writing letters back, like, what's going on? But and then she gives me a letter, and the letter is like she had stopped talking to me because the church she was going to, this is a sister. She done met some people. They going to some church. It's like, it was called like the Church of Christ, the Church of God in Christ. It's one of those churches that are across America. It's like it has a big platform, right? And they told her to stop talking to me. Like, I'm not a good person, that the thoughts that she have about me, like she like fantasized about me, they were immoral thoughts, so she shouldn't be thinking about me like that, and that it wasn't good to be with me. So she stopped talking. That just shows you how a woman can be beguiled by a pastor or anybody, especially in that world of faith. A woman is like gullible like that. No disrespect to any sisters, but y'all know the real. You know what I'm saying? Women, that's why the church is filled with mostly women anyway, and everything is catered to women in the church. But yeah, they got her to literally just abandon the nigga while I was locked up. Stop calling me and everything. And I'm like, damn, these people are supposed to be, back then, I was like, these people are supposed to be people of God, but they told her, not to write me. Like, I was just like, what the, that can't. And I didn't know the Bible like that. I didn't know, but I was just in my mind, I was like, that can't be of God. Like, to tell, like this, I'm at my lowest point right now. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's just a little story. Like, women can be beguiled by these people, especially in the church, and they give the most horrible, the worst advice ever. The brother said, let me see what the brother said. You going in. Black women are like wild Mustangs out here. If she works outside the family, you can expect pain and suffering. Black Rain said, same way in the military, was a letter in boot camp. Yeah. Yeah, it's like somebody still thinks you're alive, because it's almost like you out of sight, out of mind. He was first deceived. That's right. By a crafty man. If I would have been, I ain't gonna say that on. Hey, you funny, you funny. What do you mean by that? Put a foot in her behind. That was But brother, let me just remind you, this is Black Authentic Truth. It's not about, I'm not on that type of time. I'm not I'm not on Kevin Samuel's time here, but I will talk about the reality of Black women and Black men. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not trying to go in on sisters like that. I'm just trying to let people understand that Black women women in general are gullible. They're the weaker vessel. They can be beguiled. The world can get into their head. Girlfriends, a lot of the girlfriends like to see them single anyway, because they single and miserable. So these are truths that we know that evident in our community. We know this is the real. Like, we ain't gonna beat around the bush, you know what I'm saying? But the point I was making was about all of that, everything that's going on with that. But there's something else I want to talk about. Okay, Austin, Texas, because I will forget. Let me get it, and then I'm gonna get up out of here. So I'm in Austin, Texas, and that reminds me, I'm gonna go back to what I started with, right? What I started with was we were out in the streets, right? And it was so many sisters. 2 points. First of all, it was so many sisters that were half naked. I mean, wearing lingerie. It was disgusting. It was disgusting to see. And I'm like, this is crazy. The second thing about that is that you have the percentage of the people that I saw, it was mostly white folks, right? But I've never seen so many sisters as that single token Black person with a group of white women. I saw probably about 8 or 9 of them, like separate groups of with that one token black sister. And I said, these sisters haven't learned. They haven't learned, like black people in general, you haven't learned to not be that one token person partying. And then you end up deceased, unalive, and nobody knows what happened to you. You haven't learned. So that's something that I saw, and it just troubled me. But the brother told me that out here in Austin, you have a lot of a mix of black and white people, and Mexican and white people. And a lot of times you think that they might be white, but they're black. It's just because of the mixture, right? And as I was looking around after he told me that, I noticed there was a lot of people like that. Now, listen, do what you want to do. I'm just giving the facts of what I saw, my experience of what I saw. And I definitely was like, damn, sisters don't even know what time it is out here. And then now I'm going to go into the history of Austin, Texas a little bit. Okay. Oh, yeah, I was going to talk about that. The brother, right? The brother that was found hanging in Alabama. He was found hanging in a rural area in a home in Alabama. Now, this brother had a lawsuit out. I can't remember his name, and I should have his name, to bring it out correctly. This brother was found hanging inside of a home that was in a rural area, abandoned home. He had a lawsuit on the police for brutality, I believe, previously. Well, he was found lynched in a home, and then a few days after that, they bulldozed the home down. This is in Alabama, and let me just get it. I could probably pull it up real quick. Just tap into that real quick. That was a story I said I was going to go into, and I forgot. Thank you, Sister Baratanao, for reminding me. Okay, well, this is okay, here we go. I got it right here. Let me go to screen share. Not now. Alabama sheriff asked FBI to probe hanging death of black man. The Norris Richardson's body was found in part of a deep South state with a history of lynchings. Now, so this is the brother right here. Let me make sure y'all can see it. This is the brother right here. The Norris Richardson. We're going to read a little bit. So apparently, I guess it's saying that the sheriff asked the FBI to look into it. The FBI is reviewing the case of a black man found hanging in an abandoned house in Alabama. Deputies found the body of the Norris Richardson, 39, in September in a rural part of the deep South state with a history of lynchings. The Colbert County Sheriff's Office initially ruled the man's death a suicide, which is some BS. That's BS. Why is it that they always say that we, like, come on, man? We went over that with the young brother from North Carolina. Why is it that they always say that black men, if found hanging from a tree, that it is a suicide? Why, out of all the ways to unalive yourself as a black person, knowing the history and everything, that you would do that to yourself? That you would rather do that and go through the, because I would think that it's not a quick, it wouldn't be a quick death. It would take a while and struggle. Why wouldn't you just want to do it faster? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I'm not an expert on that. So I'm just saying in theory. But they always try to say that we do this to ourselves when they find us in these places that have a history of them lynching us. That's the thing they do. Always no signs of foul play. No signs of foul play. So he did it all on his own. Well, anyway, I'm gonna keep reading. It says that Deputies found the body of Norris Richardson, 39, in September in a rural part of the Deep South State with a history of lynchings. The Coburg County Sheriff's Office initially ruled the man's death a suicide, but the case has brought widespread skepticism from the community members and Richardson's wife, Lee, who says that she thinks her husband's death stemmed from a lawsuit he filed against the local police department in February. So his wife does not believe the narrative. She don't believe he, you know, people that's your loved ones close to you, they know you. They know what type of spirits you in and what you would do and what you would not do. Many times they try to say, oh, you never know what a person is going through. Yeah, in certain cases, but come on now. Now we don't know the people that we live with and we sleep next to every night. It says, meanwhile, in jail, the man claimed he was assaulted, denied medical attention, sprayed with tear gas, and shot with a taser, according to ABC News. Additionally, her husband did not have a connection to the home where he was found, and a suicide note was never discovered. Sheriff Eric Ballantine told the outlet he feels confident in the findings, but feels that a federal investigation would give the family more peace of mind. Yeah, more peace of mind because it's coming from the FBI, who's the same as the CIA, who planted drugs in the Black community. So because the FBI says, oh, we didn't find anything of foul play, the family is going to be at more ease. Is that's what he's basically saying. So let the people with the bigger name and the bigger title and the acronym, let them do it. And then when they come with the same findings, then the family can be at ease. He said that the department has exhausted all its resources in its probe of the case. The Independent has reached out to the sheriff's office seeking more information. In a written statement, the FBI said it is aware of the tragic death of the Norris Richardson and takes allegations of federal law violations seriously. The FBI reviews allegations of criminal conduct for their merit and conducts further investigations if there is evidence of a potential violation of federal law. Richardson's wife described her late husband as a warm father to their 5 children. In the months after filing the lawsuit, she said police in the area routinely stopped her husband and he had been trying to stay out of the way. Her husband went so far as to report the officer's behavior to Sheffield mayor's office. Mayor Steve Stanley said that he told Richardson that my officers reported through official channels would be investigated. Richardson was charged with trafficking. Richardson was charged with trafficking meth the week that he filed his lawsuit against the department. Police arrested him in a house where drugs were found. He was out on bond when he died. So he says, I guess this is the sheriff. He says, I have preached and believed that the majority of officers at least recognize that everybody deserves respect. The mayor told the outlet. It was the mayor. So that's the story of the brother. As always, it's always sketchy, doesn't make sense. And at the end of the day, unfortunately, it's like Black people you don't get no answers for things like this. They don't want to never admit to these things still going on today. It would turn America upside down. And and I don't even know why people would be surprised. Like, why would you even be surprised? You know what I'm saying? Like, why would you be surprised that Black men are still being lynched in the rural South, in them deep parts of the South? Because you still have that racist attitude down there. So why would we even be surprised? Why would we be surprised? Like, I would not even be surprised, but it's almost like they want to uphold that we live in a post-racial society and these things don't happen anymore. These things was happening less than 50 years ago. And there's been so many Black men that's been hanging from trees since the 2000s. Now you can go down from this point in time to like 2010. It's so many lynchings of them finding black men hanging in trees, and nobody is going to say, "Yeah, we're still doing that." They would rather say, "Oh, we don't see no signs of foul play. It's inconclusive. We can't say that he did it to himself or if it was foul play." It will always be like that because they want to cover their tracks, and you can't trust some people to investigate themselves. Okay, so let me get this. Let me get so yeah, getting back about Austin. So I'm gonna read some history on Austin. Let me share this screen. I'm gonna read this history. So I'm in Austin, Texas, right? And getting back, let's just a review of what I said and how I've seen so many of our people, particularly our sisters and our brothers, as the token Negro with large groups of other people. Okay. And I'm like, we haven't learned yet. We haven't learned from all the stories, all the things that we've been seeing where, you know, a black man, it was a story with a brother that went to a party with some white friends and he ended up deceased and nobody knows how it happened. The sister that went to the sleepover with the white friends, she ended up deceased. No one knew what happened. The sister that was a girlfriend to a white dude, they was at a party. She ended up at the bottom of the pool. No one knew what happened. Y'all don't see the damn narrative here? Like, what is wrong with black people? Right. Strange fruit. And nobody is going to ever, be punished for it. Nobody's going to be brought to justice for it. It's just going to go unanswered. We got to be sharper and we got to be wiser. That's all I'm saying. You can have friends with who you want to, but just be sharp about it. Be wise about it. You better have, if you want to be token, you better be 3 tokens. I'm not telling you who to be a friend with, but if that's your cup of tea, you better have about 3 black people with you. Don't be the only black person in a group of them. That's crazy work. You really pushing it on the edge and you don't even know it. It's too much. It's too many cases that didn't happen. I just named the ones off the top of my head, but it's even more of them. What about the brother that went missing? I can't remember his name, but he was found in a stream. The last he was seen was with his white friends. Come to find out, they're looking at the white friend and the mother. I can't remember the brother's name. Then there's another one more recently where this brother was 8 years old, unalived by 2 white brothers, drowned to death. Recently, I can go on and on, and these stories just get covered up because they want you to believe that we live in a interracial, post-racial society where those things don't happen anymore. And there is no inherent bigotry and prejudice and racism towards black people that turns to violence of that nature anymore. Black people just do it to themselves, or it's just unfortunate circumstances. Let me get it. I ain't gonna hold y'all. I'm talking too damn much. Let me see. Okay. So this is about, so this is Austin. So this is a D12D. So this is the district website. Okay, it's Do Awesome Stuff in Austin website. And it's got some history on Austin. It talks about Juneteenth, but I'm going to read about slavery and segregation in Austin's history. It says, in the first days of Austin's recognition as a city and capital of the state in 1950, 48% of Austin's families' heads owned slaves. As the city saw increased growth, by 1860, 35% of Austin's family heads owned slaves, and 12 free black people lived in the city of 3,546 as the population. Then the Civil War happened. By the end, the Union brought occupation troops to the city, and there was an explosive growth of African American population, which increased by 57% during the 1860s. On June 19th, 1865, the last of the slaves in Texas were freed by orders read in Galveston. That's Juneteenth. During the late 1860s and early 1870s, the city's newly emancipated Black population established the residential communities of Masontown, Wheatville, Pleasantville, and Clarksville. By 1870, Austin's 1,615 Black residents comprised some 30%, excuse me, some 36% of the town's 4,428 inhabitants. These communities were spread throughout the city, mostly in small settlements isolated from the Anglo or the white neighborhoods surrounding them. So, first of all, why did they say Anglo and just say white? Anyway, it says, then came the 1928 city plan, which is responsible for a lot of today's modern segregation. This plan took the Black communities from all over the city and relocated them to the east side of East Avenue, now called I-35. They even recommended the East be called the Negro District. This segregation lasted well into the 1940s, including all city services like housing, restaurants, hotels, parks, hospitals, schools, and public transportation. It wasn't until the 50s through the 80s that these started to be placed with integrated schools like the University of Texas at Austin, following the Brown versus Board of Education ruling in 1954. Of services soon followed, right? Other services soon followed. So what they did was, in order, they looked at it like Black people were in small pockets all over Austin. And so when they came with this plan, which is they took away public utilities in order to force Black people to move away. It's lucky I didn't even know that I get that right. What does it look like that? There we go. Let me fix this. So what they did in order to force Black people to move out of these different pockets of the city, because Black people lived all over Austin, and then they were surrounded by Black communities, but they didn't deal with each other. They were segregated. So what they did is said, we're going to take away public utilities like water and stuff like that, and force Black people to move to the other side, the east side of town, on the other side of I-35. So since then, even today, Austin is still segregated like that. And I'm going to pull up a map. Okay. This is a diversity map of Austin. Let me see if y'all can see that. So this is a diversity map, and you can see at the bottom, the color blue represents the white folks, the population. Then you have Hispanics, then you have Black as green. And you can see within the population, and you can see that, basically this place is still segregated. It's still segregated, and it's because of that plan in 1928. It's because of the plan of the city plan of 1928, where white people devised a plan to segregate the city and to get Blacks from all over the city to one central area of the city. And it still looks like this to this very day. Okay, so that's a little history on Austin, Texas, where the city is very segregated even to this day, and virtually nothing has changed in this city. And it's still racism, and even the most racism you see is in the housing, as far as where people live, where it is segregated. So with that, y'all, I'm gonna get up out of here. I got to get ready so I can go to this cookout. Let me see. Let me blink this bigger. Thank y'all for rocking with me. Thank y'all for supporting me. I wanted to do this live for y'all because I didn't plan to do a live, but I wanted to, rock it out for y'all and bring something interesting. If I would have went to that Natural History Museum, if I would have had the time, I probably would have went live from there, just on my phone, and just so y'all can see, just do a walkthrough. I thought that would have been cool, but I seen that it opens late today, And so I'm not going to be able to do that, but I'll do that maybe some other time. Maybe I'll do something like go to, I don't think I've been to the one in LA, the Natural History Museum. I haven't been to that one. So maybe I'll do something like that one of these days. Just go live, do a live walkthrough with y'all. So shout out to y'all. Like Rain said, it had sounded like Hurricane Helene. The General said heavy. Yeah, it's heavy, General. That's heavy. Black Dazzle. Let me put y'all up here. Yeah, so shout out to y'all. I'll be going live. What I want to try to do is go live every day. Go live, like do something educational, some tidbit of information, something to keep that algorithm going, because that's just an idea I got. Yeah, shout out to you, Sister Barathanawa. You're welcome. Yeah, that's a good idea. Get a lot of brothers involved too. Get a lot of brothers involved that, that have that knack for that. Everywhere you go, just do something on the history. Do something on the history. All right, y'all. I'm about to get up out of here. I'll see y'all. All right. With that, this is Black Authentic Truth.